What's up, insiders? Watley here. I got Fletcher to my left, and we got news. Actionable's getting in the pricing game. As of August 2026, we will issue our first published price list into 432 regions to mirror
just a couple.
Yeah, to mirror what the Actionable Published Price List publishes into every month. And we're going to be doing a motion the world's never seen. We're not factoring existing line items and guiding the pricing that way. We'll leave that up to other folks. What we're doing is we're really trying to solve problems, just the way a 501c6 nonprofit trade organization should be trying to do. We're going to take a stab at this where we're going to take legacy line items or existing line items and components and put those in an amalgam to build up novel line items to solve traditional problems. And so what might that look like, Fletcher? Why don't you give the folks at home an idea of what that line item might look like, where we're taking an amalgam of traditional line items, cramming it into a new line item. What do you think?
Sure. Let me pull it up here. And do you want to look at containment first?
Yeah, this is fine. Let's look at containment. All right, so we got containment here. These are pretty easy to follow. You know, what are you doing when you do containment? You got your bisqueen, you got your zippers, you got containment posts, maybe you got air filters, you got a furring strip. Wouldn't it be cool if there was just an all-inclusive line item that included a reasonable amount of those components or line items just from the jump? Probably. We think that might help. Something that might give you pause is like, well, I don't use a furring strip on every containment. We get it. Well, I don't use an air filter on every containment strip. We understand that. What you'll see in the additional item information associated with all of our line items from Actionable is that we understand that the realities in the field may force you to deviate from the actual component's buildup. So to the extent you want to change the component's buildup to reconcile, more power to you. But instead, we're focused on results and a reasonable price structure to perform that function. And so sometimes you're going to not include an air filter, but you're also going to include lay flat ducking, right? And so if it's all the same, good to you, then just use this all-inclusive line item and get you through the containment aspect of your build.
Yeah.
Then let's jump forward to the sister line items, the real complex stuff, which was dry out by volume. Guys, this assumes a 3.5 day dry out relative to the line items on the left. And we move to a singular line item that instead is, instead of being bound by these variables, like what is the equipment density or how many drying days, like instead we're just going to bind this straight to the volume of the containment straight away. So boom, there's your line item on the right, dry out by volume. Class 1, we've got Class 1, Class 2, Class 3, Class 4. Let's jump down to Class 4. I want to note that the Class 4 is a little bit different in that it's a 5.5 day dry out, and it also includes line items that are akin to like Ernie's injected dry equipment. And so the idea is that you as a restorer, you're preserving some building material. We're going to give you an extra 2 days to do so. I wouldn't be billing Class 4. I wouldn't be billing me as a staff adjuster if you didn't actually save anything successfully. But ideally, you're doing Class 4 because you're doing targeted dry out, increasing the vapor pressure. We actually decrease the air mover count a little bit for Class 4 relative to Class 3. And then boom, there you got your dry out by volume Class 4. And then 7 through 10 are really duplicative in a way. They're just the after hours variants. So Fletcher, what would you add?
What would I add?
Yeah.
To the line items?
No. I don't have time for that, man. We're going live.
No, I think you pretty well covered it, as a whole. At the end of the day, laying on into what you talked about, things change, even with the containment. Maybe you don't use a furring strip, but you have lay flat. The same thing can apply to these dry out by volume line items. You might not use every piece of equipment that's listed, but you might use pieces of equipment that aren't. The intention with these, as you've said, is really to get to a reasonable cost by volume. And things are going to change, and I think that we have a statement. Do you want to go look at the statement?
Oh, our promise? Oh, yeah. Or do you mean the additional item
within every line item? Yeah.
Yeah, you're talking about the actual equipment, labor, and materials may vary from the listed component buildup based on site-specific conditions and professional judgment. All right, guys. So we put it right there in the additional item information. That'll probably be in all line items for Xactimate or for that Actionable Published Price List. And then just jump down. I'm not going to go line by line, but just jump down to the promise. If you guys want to know more about our promise to the industry, about how often we intend to publish, where we intend to publish, how we intend to publish, what kind of things we're thinking about when we publish, have a look at our 9 commandments here. down below. That's our promise to the industry. So anyhow, people say they're excited. This one, we are excited. I'm also like a little uneasy, Fletcher. Like, how's this going to go? How is the market going to respond to this one? When you try to come down the middle on things in this industry, and boy, does Verisk know this, you can tend to be underappreciated by even both sides of the claim, in so much as maybe what you're doing bends towards one side of the claim or the other, and even the side that it bends towards might misunderstand it, the motion, and they might not appreciate it either. But I do think that we've built a brand over the last decade, Fletcher, where people know we're doing the right things for the right reasons, and we've been doing it for a long time. And so this is just a further extension of that notion. So hopefully you insiders dig it. Other than that, Fletcher and I are going to get back to the lab, start working on that September price list. Keep building.
Stay humble.